Hi guys, today we are at the Lincoln Warner show. It's the last one of the season. Let's have a look round. That's right, you got a special treat today. It's the last show of the season. Let's have a look round. This is the one before the NEC show. Always good to have a look around these. You never know what you're going to find. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're a bit meh. Let's see what it's like today. Certainly the weather. Look at this, it's absolutely terrible. Now, we've brought the action camera with us this time because it's waterproof. And the only problem with the action camera is that there's only one microphone that it works with, not two. Which basically means that Sarah's mute today. But it will move the mic around if we need to. But I might get some peace and quiet. You never know. So if you've not been to one of these shows before, basically it's a bit of a mashup of evening entertainment because they run for a few days. You can stay over in your van, obviously buy camping tickets. You also get conversion companies here, obviously converting vans. You also get lots of trade stalls, so different bits and pieces if you want to buy stuff for your van. Bit of a mix really, campervans, motorhomes, that kind of thing. So good to have a look round and just get kind of a general day out really, or a weekend out. Obviously the evening entertainment stuff, they get bands, live bands, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so these shows aren't free to get in. It's £10 on the day, card payment. So we're going to queue up and pay our dues.
Thank you.
Always really good food eateries at these shows. Lots of decent seating as well. So as long as it's not raining, fingers crossed, you're all right to be able to grab a seat to be able to eat your lunch.
Will obviously thinks I've got something good to say. I've been given the microphone. So we found the map and we are, I think, about there. So the kind of rectangle should be easy to navigate, shouldn't it?
Now this is something you don't see every day. First of all, it's a Maxus Deliver 9 van as a base. So if you haven't seen one of those before, you've probably seen the badge, but you don't see these converted very often. And I tell you what you don't see this style of conversion. So if Sarah just pops out the way, let me just pop in here, what you'll see is that this actually has a slide out. So the actual back of the van is here, and this has been pushed back, and I'll show you around the back in a second, but effectively that's how you get your bedding, because those slide out. So these here, if I show you on this bottom one, that slides out and it gives you your beds. But what it means at the back is that you have to have your barn doors open when it slides out, and that's different to your usual kind of slide out. So let me show you around the back. So as you can see, the doors are open, and then that is your slide out. And that is different to quite a few slide outs that are made. So if you think about things like the Westphalia James Cook, what that is, it's an entire rear fiberglass piece, and the whole piece comes out the back of the van. Don't need to open the doors, they've completely remodeled the back of the van. Whereas this, quite clever really, because obviously they've kept the actual van itself intact. Obviously your doors are going to get wet on the insides, but what they've done is they've built this very solid slide out, and that's where your beds are. So that goes back into the van, you shut your doors and off you go. Yeah, so let's have a look through this one then. This is a 6.8 metre crafter conversion. Sorry, MAN-TGE conversion, and from Speeds, this is their Wildcat, I think it's called, and it's got beautiful Corel work surfaces, lovely drawers and everything, beautiful under fitted sink there, of a decent size as well. Decided to put an oven in this one. Still a bit undecided on the oven thing, I must admit personally, but obviously got a shower room, wet room in there. And then because it's a 6.8 metre, you get a longitudinal bed in it, which is looks very nice indeed. And a huge, if I can open it, I think it's locked, a huge fridge, microwave and TV in this one too. This is built on a 4-wheel drive long wheelbase. So this particular van does have a really nice spec, it's fair to say, you know, 3 kilowatt inverter, loads of solar. I'm absolutely sure it'll also have lithium batteries and those kind of things for that kind of money. Truma combi heating, blown air, it's okay. You know, they could have done something more special for it, but 125k. It's a lot of van, but it's also a lot of money. Always like having a look around the Jeff Cox leisure stand. They've always got loads of Adrias and Wild Axes here. So you can see at the back there's a couple of Ducato Wild Axes. Always nice to have a good look at these. They've got the small Ducato there as well. That's a 5 metre. But then they also,
Are you okay? Is there anything I can help with?
over the other side here, they've got one of the Adria Maxes. So this is a twin Max. You've seen this on the channel before. Interesting, they're starting to do discounts on these. So it's a 74 reg, so brand new, 24 plate. 24 year, and they're starting to do discounts on these. So should be 112,995 now, 106,995. Interesting. They're starting to do some discounts. So this is the Camper UK stand. Not really a surprise to see these people here, seeing as they're based in Lincoln. And I'll tell you what, they do have a lovely selection of vans usually. So they go right from the Carthagos, so you can see that one at the back there, £208,000, obviously an A-class, right down to things like this lovely Mercedes-Benz Marco Polo. So if you've not seen a Marco Polo before, where have you been? Because they've been out for absolutely ages in different styles of the Mercedes Vito, but this is effectively Mercedes and Westphalia's version of a Volkswagen California. So obviously rear bench seat, it's electrically operated in here. You can see the switches down at the bottom. So that's how it folds flat, and it also kind of flattens out some of the bolsters and things. Very nice. But it's all very slick in here. So very, very Mercedes, as you'd imagine. So gloss black glass underneath your burners and things. You've got small little bowl sink in there, very polished in there, and well, it's very, very Mercedes. So if you're wanting something which feels a bit more car-like rather than van-like, rather than a Volkswagen California, definitely worth checking out the Marco Polo. We really like these. We think they're very, very nice indeed, and obviously with a pop top as well. And obviously that's the bed at the top just held in, but because this is converted by Westphalia, you know you're going to be getting a decent quality product. And you can see it's got a top loading fridge just like the California. They make this on the long wheelbase Mercedes Vito, which basically means that you get a bit more space in here, because if I show you, actually this area here with the seats where they are is much more than you'd get in a Volkswagen California. But there is a problem. Let me show you around the back. And the problem is up there, because they don't put any of your outside seats or tables or anything like that on the back door, which means that this here is where all of that gets stored underneath your bed. So you can see, unlike a Volkswagen California where you've got quite a bit of space underneath the bed, you've got that little carrier there for all of that outdoor stuff, you start to lose quite a bit of space there. But it's a bit of a compromise. But that said, it's still fantastic quality van built on a Mercedes. Worth checking out if you're in the market for a pop-top camper. now, it's always good to see a van out in the wild that we've reviewed before. So this is a Bailey B62. You probably saw our walk round video that we did on this at Loudham's. Fingers crossed we might be getting one of these to have a bit of a test as well, so do watch out for that in the future. But it's actually really interesting to see one of these right next to a Swift Trekker. They are, in my mind, absolute head-to-head competitors. You might say not, because the Trekker's obviously got a pop top, whereas the B62, if we look at it, does not. However, very similar price point. So 69,995 for the B62 here, the Bailey, and then the Trekker 75,890. Although I think you can get that one a little bit cheaper. I wonder if that's got the automatic gearbox. I think they start from about 72 for a Trekker. So very, very similar in price, but quite different in terms of style. But yeah, nice to see them both side by side. So very different layouts between this Bailey B62 and the Trekker. I'll show you in a second. So obviously in this 62 you've got relatively small cab area at the front here. They've used a lot of space for the, obviously for the fridge and the storage locker and things. You've got this very funky style of roller door, which if I just wheel it round, you'll see it obviously blocks it off and makes the space in the toilet area. But you'll see when it's the other way, it gives you much more space in the galley here. So rear lounge obviously in this, which converts into your bedroom. But then if I just show you in the bathroom, you'll see here you've obviously got a shower, toilet, cubicle, and obviously when you take that little piece of carpet out and that bit of duckboard, you've got actually quite a spacious shower, because you've got that extra curve in it. So quite a clever design, really. So again, you'll have seen our video on the Trekker. This is a Trekker X. So just show you the configuration of this. So obviously in the back here, you've got a bed that folds down. They've obviously folded it up so you can walk through the van here on the show. But the bed folds down on both sides. You sleep transverse in the back here. So no rear lounge or anything like that in this one. But if I show you down at the front, so you've got your bathroom in here as well, excuse the darkness, but then down at the front here you've got a traditional dinette. Front seat turns round, and obviously you've got this kind of graphite and yellow stitching everywhere. This one obviously with the tall fridge, but do check out our other video on this if you want to see it in much more detail. So I'm a really big fan of showing you different kinds of vans and different layouts and things, and this is an IH Motorhome 680 CFL. It's always good to get different ideas about how you can do things with these. So in here, obviously you've got your swivel seats at the front, this built in a Volkswagen Crafter. You've got a kind of L-shaped lounge at the front here, very nice. And when you come inside, it's like no other van that you've probably seen before. So you've got a rear washroom in this, which does mean if you're used to having a caravan or something like that, used to having a rear washroom, look at the size that you've got in this. So much, much bigger. Obviously full shower tray in the bottom, which makes that very, very easy to live with. And then in here, loads of storage, huge fridge, and then obviously you've got extra worktop space over the back here. Not quite sure what that is. It's probably a heater or something like that, I'd imagine, unless it's going to be a TV. Your TV will pop out of there, won't it? I'm not going to do it, but partly because I don't know how. But that is going to be where your TV pops up from. And then obviously you've got a really spacious kitchen at the back here as well. So yeah, very different layout, very livable. Obviously your only compromise in this is that this is going to be your bed. So you pull out the bottom, and then obviously you've got to arrange your cushions and everything, but for general day-to-day living, what a space this is. It'd be beautiful. Now when we go around the show, it takes quite a bit to turn our eye, you know, because we see a lot of vans, there's so many which look quite similar, but actually this Landseer on the new Ford Transit Custom, Admittedly, a lot of money, 77,900, 79,950, but these bits here, and when I show you inside, these are the bits that make the difference. So this has got no gas in it. This is a gasless fit out. So it's got a Clayton Power Systems inverter, battery, everything in here. It's also got, as you'll see in here, a induction hob, double induction hob, Sterling Power one. It's obviously got Webasto diesel heating in here as well. But look at the fit and finish in here. So real oak, beautifully fitted throughout. This amazing colour scheme, kind of a really fantastic green, and it just really complements the oak throughout. Obviously, nice charcoal leather in here as well. Not your usual kind of carpet fitting on the wall. You've got beautiful suede around all the windows here. I think it's a SCA roof, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure it is. I'll double check that in a second. But you know, a really high quality conversion, and loads of storage, as you'd imagine. If I just spin round, obviously you've got both front seats which spin round at the front, little clip-on table here as well, and obviously you've got all of your rails in the floor to be able to move your bed as you need to. Small little fridge under the bottom, just what you need in a small van, and you can see the detailing on the lighting scheme that they fitted around the cupboards too. Just simply stunning. So you can probably see here you've got a full power system and control panel on the side here for the Clayton system. Gives you a run time left on the battery. It tells you how much solar you've got at the moment coming into the van. It's got, I think it's a 200 watt solar panel on the roof here. Obviously you can have it on hookup as well. It's where you turn your pump on and off and all those kind of things. And then obviously your Webasto heater control just on the side there. So just around the back of the van you can see the attention to detail. So things like that lighting strip with the wood at the back here, finished actually in the boot area as well. It's not all just for show at the front. And obviously beautiful finishing in the back here. Outdoor shower connection too. And it looks just brilliant as well. This new Ford Transit Custom, I think they look absolutely stunning. What a beautiful looking van. Well, I definitely think the show here today is bigger than when we came before. So the last time we came to this show was in 2017. So what's that, 7 years ago? Yeah, definitely bigger than it was before. Loads more vans here for sale and loads more of these trade stands too. So yeah, it's good to see it growing. So this is a Knights Custom Prestige XL based on the MAN TGE. Just wait until you have a look round this. We do like a good Heimer when we see one. These free 540s I think are a really nice combination. They are expensive, you know, and admittedly this one's discounted at the moment, 83,995, but beautiful build quality, pop top on this one, and it's a 5.4 metre van, so it does fit into spaces that your normal 6 metre van would not. Just really like the kind of lighter colour materials in here. Really decent quality. And if you didn't fancy this on a Ducato and you're prepared to dig a little bit deeper, they do obviously on a Mercedes platform, so you can choose. Bit of a surprise, but actually we've seen a couple of Cali Grands at the show, and this is a 600. This is on the Loudon stand, but it's strange, you know, it kind of come to these shows, you don't expect to see some of the more kind of mainstream manufacturer ones, but as Sarah's pointing out, this one has sold. It's really good. Actually, he's got some big money off that. Was 82,995, now 74,995. Looks like a nice spec one as well. 72 plate, and in the lovely two-tone colours of the one that we borrowed as well. It's looking very nice, that. But yeah, definitely worth bearing in mind that if you do come to these shows, the Warner shows never used to be the kind of shows where you could see lots of other mainstream brands, so lots of the kind of brand new models and things, but obviously dealers are starting to bring them here now, so yeah, definitely worth popping along and having a look. Well, there we go, that is the show done, and we're back in the car. It got really windy, a bit rainy, and just
dank.
Yeah, not a great day for a show really. Hopefully you've enjoyed having a bit of a look round. It's not the greatest video, I know. It's difficult, actually.
That's because I wasn't in it.
I think that is a problem. That is a problem. Nobody just wants to listen to me alone. I think with this particular show, what was really evident was there was a lot of vans there. A lot more vans than we'd usually see at a Warner show. And that tells me that the dealers have got quite a lot of stock.
Yeah, especially for the end of season as well. That's a heck of a lot of stock to be carrying into the winter.
And it wasn't all just used vans either, was it, that were for sale? There was stock there which was 2024 brand new stock, unregistered or 70 floor plate registered, with big discounts on. You know, thousands and thousands of pounds off. So what does that tell you about the market? We did watch a Motorhome Matt video actually, of him talking about the whole industry and affordability and supply and all that kind of stuff about caravans as well as motorhomes and campervans.
Well, it's all about how they finance the stock and how that works, essentially. So
definitely worth a watch that, and very, very evident as we've walked around today. So actually, when you're kind of walking around trying to do one of these videos, it's quite tough to know what to show you, because there's a lot of T6.1 pop tops. There's a lot of, you know, white motorhomes, which I'm not being derogatory about them at all. They're quite similar. So for a vlog, it's not great. So we've tried to pick out the bits which caught our eye as we went round. Which, if the video's not as long as one of our usual ones, maybe that tells you something about what we saw. So yeah, I let us know what you think in the comments below. Were you at the Lincoln show this year? What did you think? Maybe you bought a van at the show, because there was such good stock there and such good deals around. Still makes them very expensive though, even when there's good deals, unfortunately. But do let us know in the comments below if you were here at the show and what you thought. We obviously had a bit of lunch and everything else and a bit of a day out. I think we've managed to just about get in the car before it's really started to rain. So we're going to be homeward bound and on to the next. So yeah, thanks very much. Yeah.
The next being the NEC show.
The NEC show, now that's the big one. And actually, the big difference between the NEC show and this show is the NEC show is full of brand new vans. Very shiny, which for some is actually quite depressing, because you go round thinking, there's no way, I can't afford anything in here. Whereas at least coming to one of the Warner shows, you can see some used vans, you can see new, you can talk to converters about something which you might want to spec yourselves, which is obviously a little bit different to the NEC. So yeah, but on to the NEC show. I think we're going to be there on the Tuesday, aren't we? We'll do
going
a bit of
early this year.
Yeah.
Taking a day off work. We've properly planned it.
Dedication.
Rather than a last minute, oh God, we'd better just go on the Saturday and then complaining about it.
Yeah, so yeah, we're going to be there on the Tuesday. Stop and say hi if you're around, but we're going to do a show preview video anyway, where we get the map out and have a bit of a think about the vans which are new and everything, because I think there's an Ariba, isn't there?
Yes,
anyway, let's not go into that, because we're going to save that for the preview video.
Yeah.
But if you go into the NEC show, we'll see you there if you're there on the Tuesday. And yeah, happy camping in the meantime.